Hey, Tom here, and in this video we're going to continue the mill stand fabrication. In the first video we went ahead and went over design and began cutting. At this point we will continue getting the materials prepped and work through to end of the fabrication portion. Alright, I've done a video on this one before, but I thought I'd cover it again. So now I'm going to be doing 45-degree angles. So let's get the fence loosened up. Now this is a pretty nice cold cut saw. I mean, it's not not cooled or anything like some of them are, but this one's pretty nice, and it has degree markings on it, and that's what it says is 45. So I'm just going to loosely snug that. So the fence right now, it says it's at 45 degrees, right? Maybe I'll bring you in for a different angle, just for fun. Alright, so I haven't checked this yet, but this is still set on 45. I don't know if you guys can read that or not. I was just doing my my edge check. Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, I guess we could not have clearance this way. We're gonna switch it to the other. Well, we'll just do it this way. Oh, I still don't have clearance. Dang it. Sure we do. So if we come up here against the fence and against there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is no light under there. That is spot on. Now I prefer to be a little further down, checking for parallelism. If I take it down to this end of the fence, we're still we're a degree off. No, actually, I was off. I was holding it wrong. Yeah, we're close. We're really, really, really close. Close enough for what I'm doing. So I think I'll just bring you back when I'm done cutting. Alright, so we got all the parts cut, everything's ready to go, and that's when I noticed that the fence had shifted. And this is going back to my earlier video where I said should have just kept it simple. I didn't need to do those mitered cuts. I did it for looks, for appearance only, and you know what? It came back to haunt me a bit. The fence had shifted, and I ended up with some pretty big gaps in there. I was able to correct that, but let's just move on. We'll go ahead and once I had all the parts cut and I realized what was going on, let's move on to the next stage. Alright. You know what's sad about this? I had this nice big square set here that would have helped me along the way on this other one, and it was literally, I reached my arm over and put my hand on the box for it. So you have one of those days where you're like, wait a minute, why am I not using the right tool? So yeah, I've never actually gotten to use this one before. So let's use it today. Now this is a much nicer square than what I've been using. It's not Starrett, but it is a pretty nice little setup here. I think I did a video on it before. It's a little machine shop. Combination square set, 12-inch. Looks like they're part number. Oh, they got a lot of part numbers on here. C08-03-1250, or maybe it's 150606336. I don't know. Tell you what. We'll go back to our manual zoom method. You guys can take a look. This is what I'm using today. All right, very good. So I've got a set to 2 inches. And pretty straightforward. Go to the end, mark that line, 2 inches. Go to the end, 2 inches. We're just trying to make sure that it goes, at the at the center of the part, and since these are welded there, of course I'm going to have a nice hard spot to drill through. But, alright, so that's the easy part. Let's see now. 1.5 inches. And let's be a little more accurate on where that center really is. And again, it is, you know, pretty much right on that seam. It's just off the side of the seam, the weld seam. Yeah, okay, good. Getting the same spot in both directions, always good to check that. I'll try and make it so you guys can see. So yeah, that cross point is just to the other side. You guys can see the weld seam there. It's just to the side of it. So it's actually gonna want to push that hole a little off because it's harder here and it's softer there. That being said, it won't matter. These are just leveling feet. Not too worried about it. I don't know how well you guys can see what I'm doing here. Pretty straightforward though. Okay. One thing I like about these, the scribe, it doesn't just pull in and out, it actually screws in and out. So that was kind of a nice touch. Okay. So I'll use this again today. So let's just set it aside for right now. We need to get our quick punch and then a regular punch to get this going. I'll be right back. Let me get the tools out and we'll get this ready to go. Alright, so in my infinite wisdom, I did not press the start button or something along those lines. But you guys know how this works, right? You find your lines, right? Use your little prick punch first, get it in there, and then you come in with your regular punch. Once you've got everything lined up where it goes, and give it a tap, right? You know, you gotta do it a little bit more than that, but frankly, especially in this case, these don't have to be perfect, right? They're just some holes for the leveling screws, or the leveling feet, so, and really, they just pass right through, right? There's just a clearance hole, not a big deal, right? Washer goes underneath with the foot, another one goes on the top, and you just use it and lock it in place, so nothing fancy here. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna get these drilled. Probably don't need to watch that, but I'll bring you back in a little bit. So this is actually the mill we're making the stand for, and yes, it's crooked. It's driving me absolutely insane, in fact. But, you know, we're just going to go ahead. I basically got it close to that point. You know, made the end flush here, so it's easy to just flip it around, do it again, grab the other piece, flip it around, you know, knock it out real quick without having to make a bunch of changes. One note, guys, if you have an extra set of parallels, and I need 6-inch parallels, these 3-inch. I'm not cutting it. It works. It's doing the job for right now. If you have an extra set of parallels, 6-inch parallels, please let me know. I'm interested in purchasing a set. I'd rather it come from one of you guys than from a vendor, but if it needs to come from a vendor, I can do that too. Anyways, yeah, I need some tooling. So let me know. Appreciate it. But and in keeping with all things on the internet, if it doesn't happen on video, it doesn't happen. Like me hitting, you know, hitting it with a hammer and nobody saw it. My favorite hammer. You guys remember this one? Yeah, I know. The stand is for me. Nobody else is going to see it. It's just for me. But you ever go to yourself and say, self. Yeah? This now looks like crap. Okay? What are you gonna do about it? Well, clean it up. Me? Alright. Well, since the soldier in me wouldn't let me just leave it kind of half-assed, they all got stripped down. Which means, you know, it'll paint better, it'll weld better, there's lots of good things. This stripper, by the way, this little stripper here, just a standard Home Depot Avanti Pro brand. If you guys have recommendations on these kinds of strippers, I would really appreciate it. They work amazingly well, but at like 10 bucks a piece, you know, I just blew through $10 to clean these things up. So, if you have recommendations, please put them in the comments. Thank you. Oh, moving on though, we need to bevel the edges where we're gonna weld on these. All of the other welds are just gonna be, you know, standard TU welds, and because everything's already got rounded corners on it, it gives it a place for the weld to go. Where I did these miters, I don't have a place to go, and I'm going to be putting stuff straight on top of it. So I'm going to bevel all of those so that you know, I will end up grinding the welds smooth, just so that I've got a nice smooth surface both top and bottom for the mill and the rest of the stand. But the rest of those don't need it. But let's get to beveling these. Just using. I probably should switch to a. Maybe I will do that. I've got a 1/4-inch grinding wheel that I can put on there, a disc type. So maybe I'll switch to that and then get to beveling. Alright, there it is. One fancy new stand for the mill. Whew, that was fun. Anyways, I don't know if I'm going to actually get it moved today or not, because there's a couple things we have to do still, right? First thing is, I think what I'll do is get it lifted in the air so I can get the feet off and get the feet transferred over here, make sure that they're okay. If they're not okay, go ahead and get some new ones. And then remove the mill from the old stand, get the stand, you know, and get it on here and bolted in place. In the meantime, I also want to get this thing painted, a couple other things. So I don't think I'm going to get it done today, but it's a stand. Cheers.